Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to see you guys all in here today. So far, we have Pete, Proxy, Jim, Haley, Ponderosa, Caden, Andrea, Legacy, Sam, Mighty, as well as, if we go up a little bit further, Severe Weather Lover, and I don't know if I said Legacy, but Legacy's here too, as well as everyone else who is watching, may not be chatting. Glad to have you here as well today for what is going to be, I have no idea of how long of a live stream. Hopefully we'll be joined by Lucky as well. He's on a 50-50 of if he'll be joining today. But let's go ahead and dive on into, I guess we'll do the severe warning scene here. I don't really know exactly which one to do. I guess we're on that one. I have many options. So, yeah, we have Connor Croft with us. Also have a lot of cameras up and along the Florida coastline, so that will be very useful as well. This storm is just now starting its potentially rapid intensification phase, and we also have recon data going into this storm, and we also have the National Hurricane Center update in about 30-ish minutes or so, right around 37 minutes from now. We should see the SPC update as well. So a lot of things we're going to see over the next hour or so. We'll just kind of wing it, and whenever I feel like ending, I'll end, and we'll just keep going till then. And here comes a tornado warning. Speaking of tornado warnings, actually, we've had a countless amount of tornado warnings today. I think we've had about 5 tornadoes.
Tornado warning for West Central Bradford County in northern Florida, North Central Alachua County in northern Florida,
Whoa.
Southwestern Union County in northern Florida, Alachua, Bradford, and Union County in Florida.
Let me get an analysis radar on that, because that one looks pretty good. What do you think of the 5% tor risk tomorrow? Wait, what? 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 When did that get there? Hold on, what in the world? When did that, what? When did that get there? What the heck? According to cam models, we're not really expecting many storms in that exact area. But more to the north, I do see why they introduced that. When did that get there? Did they, the afternoon update, did they go from a 0% to a 5%? Because I swear, I looked this morning and there was not even a 2% up that way. I was looking on models up that area because I saw the slight risk. I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, you know, there may be a tornado or two, but definitely, it is definitely a lot more of a damaging wind threat. But the parameters up there is actually pretty high end. That's why I was looking at it this morning. I know the NAM model the NAM model for what is that, Monday? So that's tomorrow. Yeah, the NAM model has an absurd 30 supercell composite out there with a ridiculous 10 significant tornado parameters. On the kind of the west southwest side of that, 5% chance for tornadoes. So the parameter space is through the roof out in that area for tomorrow. So all hazards definitely on the table, and probably the potential for a significant tornado can't be fully ruled out with some of those cells. So I wouldn't be shocked if we end up with a. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a 10 hatched for that. If there's enough confidence on exactly when those storms will fire, I wouldn't be shocked if we get a 10 hatched south of the Twin Cities in Minnesota tomorrow. Looking at that now, that kind of popped out of nowhere. I remember like 5-ish days ago we were talking about Sunday, which is today, and Monday's severe weather potential. Obviously today there's no tornado risk in Montana. It's 15% wind risk. That's about it. Tomorrow is completely different though. I would not be shocked with a 10 hatched because that parameter space is through the roof. The timing of that trough, as well as the timing of storms firing, is just absolutely perfect to overlay with that capping. The capping is just barely about to build in. Those storms fire before the capping builds in, which means they're able to grow. So capping's not an issue because they're already able to be sustained supercells. And then as you go into the nocturnal hours, that allows for your lower level jet to kick up, which drastically increases your tornado potential. And you've got a lower level jet of potentially 50 to 60 knots out there in northeast Iowa. So heck yeah, that is probably the best environment I've seen for tornadoes in a while. I mean, probably ever since April. That is a really, really good parameter space. It's just a matter of if we can see a supercell tap into that environment or not. Which I think the most likely scenario of that is just south of the Twin Cities in northeastern Iowa, maybe into western Wisconsin, but I doubt that. Probably more of southeastern Minnesota for tomorrow. But here's that area of rotation that is just now sparking up out here. Not all that strong, but definitely capable of producing a tornado there towards that's Worthington, rather. Worthington Springs here in kind of north central Florida. One of our viewers, Forrest, he used to live just to the northwest of this tornado warning. So that's pretty close to where his other house used to be. He moved, though. So, yeah, hopefully everybody's doing great. I know we just kind of jumped on into the stream there, but I appreciate you guys all tuning in here. Hopefully all stays are doing well today. What'd you say about a strong water west of Tampa, you said? If you're talking about this, I did see this before stream, yeah. Yep, I saw that as I was actually starting up the stream. That's definitely producing a water spout, almost certain of that one. Now, of course, we can't use CC unless it starts lofting up fish, but hey, you never know. It's 2024. You never know. I don't think that's... I wonder if we've ever seen CC on a water spout before, though. But here is going to be a live camera. I want to show this so that way we can kind of get a, you know... Oh my goodness, it's really going ham right now. This is just barely outside the storm surge warning in the western Big Bend area of Florida. So that's like to the south of Tampa on the coastline. I'll show you that right now. It is located right about, I think, here near Indian Pass, which again is well to the southwest of Tallahassee, Florida. Pretty windy out there. Not even inside that storm surge warning. So this is your tropical storm force wind speeds. It's a little bit blurry, but I mean, this is all I ask for with a camera. This is great in my opinion. Virginia Beach, you should be perfectly fine. There may be a bit of a flooding risk as we go towards like the 8th or so, but I don't think you'll see too much that way. If anything, it's just going to be heavy rain. Let me go up here. Welcome Haley to the stream. Glad to see you in here. Jonathan, as well as Kevin. I just want to make sure I've welcomed everyone. Misty, Carson. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Glad to see you guys all in here. Let me show you guys, actually really quick, I want to go check on that area of rotation once again. So that's from, that's in Florida. Well, to the southwest of Tallahassee is where that camera is on the shoreline. Yeah, not too much there. What did Kevin just say? He said something. West of Tampa, strong water spout is likely ongoing. Is a water spout likely ongoing? Yeah, I don't know where I put strong in that, but I do think it is strong. Let me see here. Uh-oh. Yeah, the whole storm shifted, by the way, just to throw that out there. But before we dive too much into this, I have to go over the parameter space for tomorrow because it's going to be wild. This is your NAM 3K, and I just have to point out how much of a classic cold front, warm front setup that is with the low pressure here. That is the signature. That is the type of signature that I saw, a little bit of a different orientation with April 26th. Now, I don't think it's going to be an April 26th ordeal. It doesn't look nearly as good of that on model runs, but that is that's a classic I'm going to be a tornado outbreak signature right there on the NAM 3K model run. Now, the HRRR isn't as wild, but still, you have your low pressure, your warm front with your cold front, and I'm sure it's a triple point with the dry line in there. I'm very sure about that. This is possibly the best, like I said, the best environment. Oh my goodness, best environment we have seen since April. I gotta take a sounding on that one. Oh my goodness! Please don't listen to the sounding here that I'm about to take. We're doing this for fun, but it's about to be wild. I can already tell you that one. Just based off that parameter space. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Holy moly. Right off the bat, I noticed one big thing, and that is this little kind of drier air here that's infiltrating below the 700 millibar level. That could be a small issue, but my word, perfect veering. Perfect veering. Sheesh. Man, perfect autograph there. If you ignore that little indent of dry air, even then your temperature dew point spread isn't, I like it to be of 5 degrees apart. So I'd rather have 77 with 20, or rather 77 with like 83 or 82, right around there. I'd rather have a 5 temperature dew point spread, but that's still really good. Plentiful amount of instability, almost 4K. Lapse rates are definitely a big old limiting factor with that. You might have more, there may be a little bit of limited convection at first, so storms might struggle to fire. But this was a little bit earlier, so if we take like a layer sounding, here's the other one. Of course, it's going to say PDS Tour. Let's just go ahead and cross that out. Yeah, so actually, I want to take a little bit of a later one. Like, could we take one? The environment won't be as good, but the most likelihood for initiation would be 02Z. Yeah, see, it's messy, though. It's messy, though, up there. Let's go ahead and take one right here and see what those lower level lapse rates look like. Storm Dakota, that's just to the south of Twin Cities in Minnesota. Maybe into northeastern Iowa. We're going to wait for that sounding to load. I did not even know that there was a... oh, those lapse rates got worse. I didn't even know there was a 5% tomorrow at all up here. Yeah, I mean, a really good environment other than those lapse rates, which could easily be fixed by a bias that the NAM has called ridiculous cloud cover. I want to check the HRRR. Not, yeah, I guess we can look at this. Yeah. Yeah, see, if we get that, man... Gracious day. If we manage to see things fire along that triple point in central Iowa, it is going to be really bad. Or north central Iowa, like right here. The HRRR has it very more north, so it's a little bit messier, but still, even with that, you'd have a strong tornado threat. That is a ridiculous triple point setup up there for tomorrow in and around the Twin Cities in Minnesota, as well as north central Iowa. Starting to see a bit of a stronger air rotation with this current tornado warning. I guess we should switch that scene. I'm very late to that one. Jeez. So there is a bit of a stronger area of rotation there. Northwest of Worthington Spring, southwest of Dukes in Florida. Make sure you're seeking shelter. That could easily drop a tornado at any moment. I want to go check that water spout again. It does look like that is on a very slight weakening trend at the moment. It doesn't look as impressive as the last few scans. So it looks like that's about to fall apart. But they did just put a special marine on that. Special marine warning for a water spout potentially ongoing there. This is your whole look at your tropical storm. What is it? Debby? I believe it's Debby. That is a full look at it there. And I can even do a larger look. And here comes a new tornado warning. I can do a bigger look for you there. We're also about to see a new tornado watch in this exact same area in purple, or generally the same region, because this one's about to expire. Here comes a beep. Any second.
Tornado warning for southwestern Union County in northern Florida, Union County in Florida.
Here comes another one. Now that one, I don't know where that's going to be. That's going to be the extreme coastline out there north of Miami. Well north of Miami. I can't get another radar site open. I'm going to kill my computer here. We're going to move this one over here. Here comes a beep. Now. Nah. Nope. I was a little off.
Tornado warning for East Central Brevard
That's
County
right
in
there,
East Central Florida, Brevard County in Florida.
Wait for that new scan. Ooh. That is quite impressive. Should have a new scan here very, very, very soon. Should have a new scan here. There's your tornado warning. So that is a new tornado warning in effect. That's for the what is that? Like, I guess that's, I don't know how to pronounce that first one there. Well, just make sure you're in your safe spot. You know if you're under that tornado warning, hopefully. That's on the very coastal areas of Florida, north of Palm Bay, Florida. Make sure you are seeking shelter there. Let me go ahead and clear out some of this stuff. There we go. That is a pretty strong area of rotation that is in place moving onshore right now. So you want to be in your safe spot. We might be lucky enough to have cameras out here. I didn't check on the east side here. So this is, yeah, we do. We indeed do. Okay, so this is just north of the beach. We don't have live cameras. The live cameras are slightly more north. I wonder which way this is pointing. Well, here's a look at just to the kind of north of where this tornado would be located. Just to show you what it looks like here. This is a very stable camera. You can see the trees swaying a lot on the left side of your screen. Big time rain bands there. Here comes another tornado warning. We have some cameras more to the north, more to the west of that too, like this one here. That new warning.
Tornado
this one's shaking
warning
like crazy,
for
I think.
Central Manatee County in west central Florida, northwestern Sarasota County in west central Florida, Manatee and Sarasota County in Florida.
One of these was like going crazy. Is it this one? No. One of these was just like bouncing everywhere, man. I think it was this one. That was not as bad. This one? This one. It had to be this one. Yeah, there you go. That's the one I saw. It's like I clicked off of this one and then I clicked to the other one. I'm like, geez, that's a stable camera. Yeah, that's the one that's shaking everywhere. So our tornado, if we do have a tornado moving on shore, it's moving on shore right in this area. So, you know, this camera obviously isn't there. I don't know if this one, where this is pointing. I wish it said the direction here. Did that say, okay, that says northwest. So that one's pointing, oh, this is pointing southeast. So this one's not the worst. Ooh, we got a tornado warning south of Tampa now. Gracious day. I'm sorry, y'all. I went live and everything popped off. I apologize. It's all my fault. I'm going to move that camera over here. And we're going to go into our dual scene here. So I'm going to move this here, push this over here, put this here, put this here, put this over here. And then I'm going to switch you guys to this scene. I don't know if this scene's going to be good. Okay, that's the camera above my face cam. The date is just slightly off there. I want to move that a little bit more. There you go. So we now have a tornado warning in effect just to the south of Tampa. The camera you're looking at right now is just out in front of a tornado warning here, and this area. This is just to the north of Satellite Beach, north of South Patrick Shores. Our camera is, I believe, already missing this. I believe it's already missing this. Yeah, it's not going to head this way. It seems like it might stay offshore. Yeah, it's going to move more up this way here. So that green is your area of rotation. It's moving more like this. So it's going to move just like this. Our camera is right here pointing southeast. So that camera is getting probably the worst of this storm at the moment. Or the worst it's going to get. The worst portion of this storm's obviously where it's rotating. We might be lucky enough if we could catch the outer edge of it. Somehow, maybe. Yeah, this one's probably just barely not going to be able to see it. It's pointing east, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so this one's pointing east above my face cam. A lot of wind and a whole lot of rain. I'm going to go back to that one pointing southeast because I have a feeling that one's just, it's just better in my opinion. Right, let me go more north here. That's definitely not credible CC right now, Caden. I can tell you that. That is definitely not credible CC, especially with the ZDR like that. Now, the spectrum width does make me think something may be going on there, but we could see a tornado drop at any second there. I wouldn't be shocked if it's on the ground. I'm not saying you're dead wrong, but that's just not credible CC. Yeah, like, the radar isn't picking up on that being on the ground. Doesn't mean it's not on the ground. We are far from the radar site here. So just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in any of these tornado warnings. Make sure you are in your safe spot. I'm going to really stay on this one more east here. It did fall apart. Okay. Yeah, that's not rotating anymore in that tornado warning in east central Florida. To the north of South Patrick Shores. Hello, Lakeisha. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you in here. I believe our only really concerning one is the one Caden was talking about. That far north central one. So we'll keep an eye on that one west of Lake Butler. Well to the west of Railford in north central Florida. I guess that's where we'll keep this radar site at. I'm going to move this one over to my other monitor so that way I could go flying by and looking at all these other storms without getting y'all sick. The tornado warning northeast of Angel City, that one is definitely has a whole lot more lightning with it. So it's a lot more of a severe threat as opposed to some of these other tornado warnings. It is actually currently severe warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds, 0.75-inch hail, as well as a tornado possible. That indeed now looks like a credible CC, Caden. I believe you were correct. Yeah. I do believe that is a debris signature now, Caden. I believe you were right. Yeah, definitely CC now. Yep. You know, one scan, that's not too credible. You know, that's 2 pixels, but that's a debris signature. I'm never wrong. Sure, buddy. Yes, you are. Yeah, you are. But that is likely a tornado ongoing here to the west of Lake Butler in Florida. To give you a better idea of that, there is a tornado directly, let's see here, directly to the east of Providence. By about 1.5 miles going over Road 238, where the road intersects with 791 as well as 241. There's a tornado ongoing in that area, which, to give you a better idea, Lake Butler is a bit more populated. This tornado is approximately 11.3 miles to the west of Lake Butler in north central Florida. Lake City is extremely populated. This tornado is about 15.3 miles to the southeast of Lake City in north central Florida. Make sure you are seeking shelter now if you are inside the tornado warning on screen here. That will probably be extended some to. We've got an unwarned tornado. Oh, okay, now it's warned again. I just got so confused for a second. They actually let this go unwarned for just a bit. Look at this. It is unwarned right now, but it's about to come back. This shouldn't be a long-lasting
Tornado
tornado
warning
either.
for West Central Union County in northern Florida, southwestern Columbia County in northern Florida, Columbia, and Union County in Florida.
All right, I'm gonna put that camera back over to the kind of our storm surge camera here. We'll see what the next scan has to show. That is not confirmed right now. That is not confirmed. So we'll wait and see if they end up observing that, but currently they don't believe that is a debris signature. Every product, maybe with the exception of ZDR, says that this is on the ground. The only reason why ZDR might not be picking up on it is because it's pretty far from the radar. Also, in order for us to see a debris signature about 5,000 feet away, that means this is probably a pretty strong tornado. It's probably a bit on the stronger side of a tornado here. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll wait for another scan. Should be in 2 seconds, please. Right now. And that debris signature is, in fact, gone. So that's most likely no longer a tornado on the ground. Definitely seemed to be for at least a good solid 2 to 5 minutes there. We had a tornado on the ground. All right, back over to some other storms. I want to see if any other storms have better circulations here. Really nothing. There is a little bit of circulation near Holiday, which is northwest of Tampa, Florida. Also a bit of circulation here towards Venice, I believe is how you say that. Or it might be Venice, it might be Venice. I'm going to go with Venice here. That's going to be well to the south of Tampa. We might have a camera on that. I didn't even look for a camera on this tornado warning. Stupid me. I'm sure we have a camera here. This is Tampa, man. We definitely got a camera. So this would be, let's see. Fruitville. Okay, let's see if I can find freaking Fruitville. Okay, I don't see Fruitville. So that is dead east until we hit this interstate. Go a little bit more south and east. So this camera would probably be pretty good. Of course, not there. This one, not there. This one, not really. Ooh, that one's not too shabby. I need it to be a little bit more east, though. Like, this one would be perfect. But it's not going to be because it's not in the path of the storm. Is that McDonald right there? Is there McDonald up here? Not McDonald's, McDonald Town. Let me go back over to this radar site because it will pick up on that. No. Got to figure out exactly where these cameras are, y'all. I guess we could go with this one on the interstate. Yeah, it's not too bad, though. I mean, there doesn't seem to be a lot of wind out there. I don't think this storm's really rotating all that much. So what about the coastline? Do we got some coastal cameras here? No. This one might be good. If we could get one pointing west. That one's pointing northwest. This one's pointing, doesn't say. Yeah, if we could just get one pointing west, that'd be pretty good. A lot of flooding. Look at that. If you look at the above my face cam on the right side of the camera, above my face cam, quite a bit of flooding there. We'll just keep looking for some good cameras, y'all. We have plenty of them. Can I not find Parish here? Let me see if I can look it up. Parish, Florida. Oh, there you go. Okay, now if we could just follow that interstate to the south here. We just don't have any cameras there. Yeah, we need cameras here where my cursor is. We just don't have them. That is horrific. So close, so close. All right, let's see if we can get a camera in. We're going to look for Venice, Florida. See if we have one right around there. I think we have some to the east of that. Yeah. So that's going to continue northeast. So we're going to get a camera. One of these should be good. Just to get something up there. Whoa, that is blurry. That might not even be blurry. It might just be extremely windy out there. Look at that. Yeah, that is a pretty rough storm right there. That's one of our smaller storms that are trying to rotate here. That's, I believe, south of Lake Sarasota in Florida, which is far south of Tampa. Yeah, this warning in north central Florida looks a lot weaker. And this is trying to recycle east of Port St. John in far east central Florida. Not looking too well, though. I still think our north central Florida one is the most interesting tornado warning at this moment. Yeah, zero visibility, that's for sure. Absolutely no visibility out there. This storm is Tropical Storm Debby. It is quickly trying to organize here. This is its eye. It's a bit of a messy eye at the moment. It's really trying its best here to get its act together, and it's, in my opinion, it's really starting to succeed. Wow, the visibility got a lot better there. What about on this camera? This is just blurry and going all over the place. Here's more out in front of that storm. See if we can get another one more north of that. That's not, maybe not as blurry. Man, so many cameras out here. Gracious. All right, I'm going to go put it back at the storm. I'm going to call it the storm surge camera. That's our single camera up here near the Big Bend area. Because that's going to be, I mean, that area is not going to experience much until probably very, very, very late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Sun's beginning to set, so here's your satellite imagery of Debby currently. As the sun is starting to set, you can see it setting. Right here is that line between where it has night vision and it's just, you know, day. So it is going to start, we're going to start losing some of our high definition satellite here, but very impressive storm at the moment. Not a hurricane. It's a very high end tropical storm. It could very easily be hurricane status. We do have a recon going through this storm. I don't see them finding too much, honestly. It doesn't seem like they've found a whole lot out in Debby at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on the recon data. They're gonna be out there for quite a while, so no rush there. Let me go further south here. So again, just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in these tornado warnings. One is south of Lake City. We have another one out here to the east of Port St. John, Florida. And then we have another one out here for the lake, or rather for the Meadows, for Fruitville as well, south of Tampa. So 3 current tornado warnings as this tropical storm is continuing on its journey up to the north-northeast. We're going to be seeing landfall probably right around 6 a.m. early tomorrow morning. Not sure if we'll be live streaming that. Currently, it is expected to make landfall at Category 1 intensity. We'll go ahead and go over everything right now whilst we're at a little at least a little bit of a standstill on those warnings. I mean, they're in place, but they don't look that impressive. So we have tropical storm warnings now all the way up to Savannah, Georgia, in this blue, dark blue area here. That also includes Jacksonville, Florida. And then I believe those storm surge warnings in dark red also have tropical storm watches in place, which is the yellow outline here. So if you're in any of these areas, just make sure you are taking the proper precautions. I know a lot of people in Charleston are beginning to evacuate. That is not the worst idea. Some of these isles and some of the islands out here, they are beginning to evacuate. There's no evacuation orders in place, not even a state of emergency out here from what I've seen. And we do have people evacuating there in Charleston, which is not a bad idea considering we're talking about potentially up to 30 inches of rainfall out there. Here is going to be your forecast track, tropical weather forecast track here. So that is your latest National Hurricane Center advisory as of actually we should get a new one, but this is as of 5 p.m. Yeah, that's as of 5 p.m. We should have just gotten a new one. We just got a new tornado watch. Yes, we just got a new advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Wow, putting this just 4 miles per hour shy of Category 1 intensity. Yeah, so actually, let me not use this so that way I can show you guys the new advisory. This is the new advisory that just came out not but like 3 minutes ago. That is your new cone of uncertainty there. So we are forecasting this. National Hurricane Center is forecasting this to be a hurricane at the next advisory right about 2 a.m. Eastern, moving up to the northeast, making landfall between the time frame of probably 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern, moving overland in southern Georgia, and then making landfall again towards Charleston, South Carolina, then moving up into the North Carolina state of North Carolina. I don't know about chasing this. I might save my chasing opportunity for a later date. This storm's far south now. If it does recurve up like this, I'll chase it. But I don't think I'm going to be going all the way down towards Georgia in southwest South Carolina by myself, all the way down that far to chase a tropical storm. Now, if it was forecast to be like a Cat 2, I'd definitely do it. There should be better opportunities in September. The keyword should. So hopefully I'm not just going to waste this opportunity. I don't want another hurricane. The only reason why I want to chase them is because no, Lucky's not going to go Legacy. Like he said, he's not going to be able to go. I believe he could still change on me. He could still change it up on Tuesday morning, but I don't think he's going to be heading out with me. Here's that new tornado watch that was just issued. Oh boy. This is confusing. Well, it's right here. What's the probs on that? 50-20. Wow, so can't even fully rule out a strong tornado threat there. But yeah. Just make sure you're hyper weather aware if you're anywhere inside this cone of uncertainty. Just keep a very, very close eye on the forecast. This could very easily curve out very far out to sea here and then book it right into North Carolina. So there's the realm of possibilities here. We're just going to keep an eye on it. If the forecast can shift more off to like the northeast and it's in a better time frame, maybe I'll go chase it myself. But at the moment, landfall is going to be in the early morning hours, probably of Thursday, and it's going to be like almost 6.5, 7 hours from me now. Let me see here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and share this stream with family, friends, social media. I'm glad to have all you guys in here again for another update. Let me see. I'm trying to think real quick. So tomorrow's the 5th. That's a Monday. We'll probably cover some tomorrow.
Warning for West Central Columbia County in northern Florida, Columbia County in Florida.
that has weakened out. I'm kind of surprised they continued that warning. Yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on that. I don't think I'll be live for landfall tomorrow. But tomorrow night there's a really good chance I'll be live. If not for Debby, then probably for that potential strong tornado threat in Iowa. So I should be live tomorrow, probably right about we'll say like 7 p.m. Because I know a lot of people will be live for landfall, so I shouldn't be needed as much for landfall. Plus, it's going to be early to the point where I'm not planning on getting up. It doesn't seem like it's going to have much of a chance to rapidly intensify. So I do believe a Category 1 landfall is what we're going to see. It might get to mid-tier, bit of a flash warning here. It might get to a mid-tier Category 1, but it doesn't look like we'll see a Cat 2 or higher than that. Now, if this thing had, I feel like that has been the case so far this year. If this thing just had 24 more hours over the Gulf, or maybe even just 12 more hours over the Gulf of Mexico here, it would probably be able to rapidly intensify. And I mean 12 more hours from landfall. So not 12 hours from now, which would be 8 a.m., but, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. If it had water till 8 p.m. tomorrow night, a full 24 hours from now, I bet this thing would be pushing major hurricane status potential. Because it has a really good look to it, and it could definitely rapidly intensify if it had more time over water here. But it doesn't. It's also leaving that good ocean heat content pretty soon, so I don't think we'll see it rapidly intensify anymore. I think we've already seen a good intensification phase. We went from, what was it at, like 50? About 24 hours ago, it was at 50-mile-per-hour winds, and now we're up to 70. So that's a pretty good intensification phase. It's not rapid. It wasn't rapid. Rapid is 35 miles, I think 35 miles per hour in a 24-mile-per-hour or 24-hour time frame. My word, if you didn't understand that, because I got myself confused, storm has to strengthen by 35 miles per hour in 1 day, which is 24 hours. I got myself confused with that one. Let's see. Let me go back over to here. Not seeing a whole lot out in this tornado warning either. We're down to 2 tornado warnings, which is good. Hopefully we can get lower than that. 90 miles per hour sustained at landfall. I don't know about that. That'd probably be pushing it. They're forecasting. Oh, well, I mean, that's what they're really forecasting. They have it at 70 right now, and then what? That's very rapid. They have it going from 70 to 85, and then landfall would probably be 90, but I don't feel like that's correct because, well, if you didn't notice here, the low pressure is here, so they're still off. The low pressure is here moving up to the north, and then eventually it's going to start taking that northeast turn. So I have a feeling our landfall is going to probably be more east, southeast than what they're saying. Probably closer to, like, Perry. Let me go look at some new model data here. Analysis. We're going to go to this tropical storm Debby. No, there's really solid agreement that this thing just keeps moving up to the north like this, and then takes that slow turn right up towards where the NHC is forecasting it. So there's not really much room for error on the model runs. It's like most of them say right here. There's one that goes, which I think that's the HFAI, whatever that is, takes it right in this area, but all the other, like, I can't even tell you how many model runs, probably right around like 10 or so, take it right to the southwest of Perry to make landfall. I'm going to mute this there. Okay. Yeah, DJ, you're right in the path of this. I mean, gracious day. Are you in like downtown Charleston? I mean, you're expected to get between 20 to 30 inches of rainfall. I mean, you're gonna get it really rough out there. Myrtle Beach, you should be in a bit of a better scenario. I just it's something else. I just wouldn't be on the immediate coastline. You know, if you're like just a couple, not even but like a half mile inland of Myrtle Beach, you should be perfectly fine. Also, don't go in the water. Two things: don't go in the water, and just keep an eye on the forecast. I got a notification, but I didn't see it. Did anyone see the notification pop up on stream? Thank you, Jason, for subscribing. Track isn't off. It's just that the upper and lower level layers of the center of circulation aren't aligned and are wobbling. I mean, you could see how much it wobbles. It definitely wobbles a bunch. But the low pressure is... Where do they have it being? Let me see. Anywhere inside that... in my opinion, it's still a little bit too far to the west. You know, like if they had it right here, I'd believe it for sure. But I still think they're just a little bit too far west on that icon. And it also hasn't moved northwest. Over the last like 3 or so updates, they've been continuously predicting that it moves northwest, but it just keeps moving north. Which it might just keep doing that, you know? It might not turn northwest and then move northeast. It might just go straight north and then start moving northeast. But they do have it like moving more northwest than northeast, which I don't think models have that. Yeah. You can see model runs have it moving dead north, then starting to move northeast. Here comes a new tornado warning. Where are you at? Let's see.
Tornado warning for North Central Manatee County in West Central Florida,
That's down
Southeastern Hillsborough County in West Central Florida, Hillsborough and Manatee County in Florida.
Okay, let's go ahead and check that. Is that the new warning? Okay, yes it is. Maybe a little bit of rotation there. See it right here where those blue and greens meet. I wish I had... You know what? This might work. This is either going to screw up our radar site. Nope, there you go. There's just a little bit of rotation there. Not anything, you know, really, really tight, but it could produce a brief spin-up tornado. No, I don't think your flight will be canceled, Jason. You said Friday? Yeah. Yeah, if you said Tampa too, yeah, you should be fine. You're just going to probably drive through a lot of rain. Here's that new tornado watch in the purple. That goes until 6 a.m. Eastern. So if you're in this purple area, that goes from, let's see, just south of Bartow, well to the south of Tampa, near Northport. You guys are in that tornado watch. That goes up towards Palm Bay as well. And then it moves all the way up to southern Georgia, all the way just to the south of Brunswick. Waycross inside of that tornado watch. Homerville are inside that watch as well. So big tornado watch that has been issued till 6 a.m. Eastern time. The camera you see above my face cam is located right about here. So that's very far to the west of this this primary, the primary batch of tropical storm Debby here. We could go a lot more east here, but we don't really have any water out here. I thought that was a lake for a minute. Yeah, that is a lake. We don't have any cameras on it, though. We'll just, that's probably your best camera. More to the north, we get too far north. I think this is all trees, yeah. So that's probably your best camera there. We have a lot of lacking cameras in the Big Bend area of Florida. That red icon you see above my face cam, we looked up the location of one of those tornado warnings, which I wonder, hold on. This is definitely not going to pop up Florida, but I'm going to look up Manhattan, Florida, not New York. No, it doesn't want to pop up. Must be too small of a town. We got a bigger town here. Yep, Fort Lonesome, Florida. See if we have any cameras to the west. Nope. This thing's in a camera hole. This tornado warning is in the middle of a camera hole here. We won't be able to see it at all. Ain't that fun. It is the only tornado warning in effect as well. There's actually 2 of them here. They're for the same storm, though. We'll lose this one in, let's see. When do you expire? I'm just going to go over here. I can never find it. 5 minutes. So we'll be down to 1 warning in 5 minutes. 1 tornado warning in 5 minutes. All right, we'll keep that up. I don't think that area is going to get hit too hard. They're in tropical storm warnings now. But the main batch of Debby should stay to the east. Like right in this area. It's going to be a very sharp cutoff. Very, very sharp cutoff. I don't think you'll get it that bad, Lakeisha. Oh yeah, you're definitely going to fly through it, Jason. It might be a little bit more off the coastline before you can actually get to fly through it. But I don't expect much of a delay there. Yeah, so rapid intensification is definitely still possible with this with Debby as it approaches land. It's just the matter of if it can get a very well established eye and center core here, which I don't believe it's going to be able to do that thanks to dry air. But I mean, you never know. You never know. We really, ooh. I wonder if this is slowed down a little bit. Models are backing off on the landfall being at like 6 a.m. So in between advisories, this is the 2 a.m. advisory, and then that is the 2 p.m. advisory. So that's 107 miles. So we want to go about 53 miles from that. So yeah, at 8 a.m., this is about at 8 a.m. where it will be. Just before landfall. So I might actually be able to make it for landfall. There's a chance I'll be able to cover just a bit of it. I'll probably sleep right through it, to be honest with you. Let me go over the flood risks now. I'm going to disable all these watches and warnings so that way we can see those flood outlooks. That's already all disabled. I want to do this outlook here as well as this outlook, and I want to get rid of these. Let's take these on over here. So here is your, we'll start with severe weather first. I also want to get the radar sight out of here so that way we can see it a bit easier. So this is your severe weather outlook for today. We have a slight risk for severe storms in place over most of Florida. If you're in that green area, that's your level 1 threat. Every 25 miles of a given point, you are under a risk for a 2% chance for tornadoes. If you're under that yellow area, that's a level 2 risk. That is a 5% chance for tornadoes every 25 miles of a given point. Then we could go into tomorrow. Both those risks continue to move more to the east, so big marginal risk here with a slight risk in the middle of that. And then as we go into day 3, which is Tuesday, you can see a very small level 1 threat for tornadoes there over the Charleston area. So the main threat for tornadoes overall definitely seems to be tomorrow. Not only out here in the coastal areas of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, but also back up here in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, where we could potentially even see the threat for a strong tornado being a possibility out here, especially in southern Minnesota as we go to north central Iowa. So we'll keep a very close eye on that area as well. And then day 4, there's not much to speak of on day 4. Let's see, go to day 4 really fast. Yeah, there shouldn't be a 15%. Yeah, there's nothing there. Now, your flooding outlook is a completely different story here. We do have a moderate risk for flash flooding in place all the way from south of Tampa all the way back up south of Tallahassee. That is a level 3 out of 4 for excessive rainfall. We only have 4 levels for rainfall, whereas we have 5 levels for severe weather. So that's a level 3 out of 4 for your excessive rainfall, a moderate risk there. That is going to also, of course, have a slight risk level 2 out of 4 and a level 1 around that. So you have a level 1, 2, and a level 3. If you're in that red area, that's where we're looking at the potential for catastrophic flash flooding. But more importantly, as we go into tomorrow, that's when it gets really bad. We have a very large level 4 out of 4 high risk for excessive rainfall, which is very rare. I'll get to the rarest one here in just a second. We also have a moderate risk around that, and then a slight risk around that, and a marginal there as well. So all 4 categorical scales here on your risk for flash flooding. And as we go into Tuesday, this is a extremely rare outlook. It is very uncommon. This is the first time in almost 5 years we have seen a high risk level 4 out of 4 in place for South Carolina. The last time this happened was Hurricane, I believe, Dorian, back in 2019 or was it 2018? I believe it was 2019, the last time we had a high risk for excessive rainfall out here, Hurricane Dorian, which was, of course, one of the most catastrophic hurricanes to ever hit the U.S., and that was our last high risk out here. I'm going to just look it up. When was Hurricane Dorian? It was in 2019. 2019. So yeah, about 5 years ago. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was 2019. About 5 years ago was the last time we had that high risk for excessive rainfall in place. And this is for the potential of upwards of 30 inches of rainfall right in the very coastal areas, all the way from Savannah back out towards Charleston, South Carolina. Also, Myrtle Beach is under that level 4 out of 4 for excessive rainfall there. Absolutely historic outlook here. The outlook itself isn't historic every about 5 years, but the amount of rainfall we're going to see, potentially 30 inches of rainfall, is ridiculous. That is absolutely crazy. That rainfall is, that's almost unheard of rainfall out here in the Carolinas. I do want to go check let's see here. All right, let's go to Weather Prediction Center. And I'm also going to pull up the NHC. I'm going to show you guys the forecasted rainfall totals. All right, so that is 20. So this is going to fluctuate. It is probably going to increase even more. They downgraded this actually just a bit on the newest 2 p.m. advisory, which isn't actually the newest. The 2 p.m. advisory, they downgraded this. Earlier this morning, it was actually a bit higher. They now are calling for up to 20 inches of rainfall in Charleston and Savannah, whereas before they actually had upwards of 30 being in place. Now, we're still going to see some isolated 30 inches of rainfall, and I'll tell you that. Why? Because of the rain bands. If we go back over to our current satellite imagery, or this is radar imagery, flash warning. Look at these bands that Debby is currently building right on into just south of Tampa. We'll wait for it to completely load. But we're going to have bands like that that hit near Charleston, and those are going to be areas that could see, near, if not potentially even more than 30 inches of rainfall out there. Now, not south of Tampa, but if we take those bands and put them over Charleston and put them there for a good solid 3 days, I'm sure they're going to be able to produce near 30 inches of rainfall out there. So that's your biggest threat. And you can also see why they have that high risk back out near Tallahassee as well. Because even back out here east of Tallahassee, we could still see upwards of 16 inches of rainfall where this storm makes landfall, moves onshore, and then it's going to move offshore. A little bit too far north on that track. It's going to move offshore here and really, really, really slow down and then push back into South Carolina. And it could make landfall in Charleston as well, could make landfall towards Savannah, or it could slow down so much to the point where the front actually leaves and the front helps pull it a bit more out to sea. And then once that front's gone, it no longer follows the front, so it slams in towards Wilmington. There's a lot of different scenarios. For instance, I think the CMC model is the one that shows that scenario where the front actually passes completely through the hurricane. The CMC shows a hurricane. It's either CMC or Icon. Okay, it's the Icon model. So let me go ahead and show you the scenario I'm talking about here. So here's one of those scenarios. Like I said, the one that hits Wilmington. Go to the southeast. So there's generally what the Icon is thinking it is right now, which is actually not that far off. I believe we're at a 997 millibar currently. I didn't look at that new advisory. We're at 992 at the 8 o'clock advisory, so we're actually stronger than what the Icon model currently predicts for this storm. Makes landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in a Big Bend area of Florida, moves through Florida, southeastern Georgia, and then this is where the front pushes through, so the front stalls it out just to the south of South Carolina off the coastline, and then front leaves and it pulls it right back into North Carolina. So that is like that's a scenario, definitely one of the more worst case scenarios, but we're gonna keep an eye on it just in case it does happen. It's gonna be something we need to keep an eye on. It's still not fully out of the woods that I go and intercept this myself. I just really would prefer having Lucky with me. Okay, here's the thing. I believe I can go to Wilmington by myself, but if this thing makes landfall in South Carolina, I'm gonna need Lucky. So if it makes landfall in Wilmington, I believe I could still go, by myself. But Charleston is just too far. Wants a Cat 5 landfall. Okay. This is not going to happen, y'all. It's the NAM model. Technically, that's not Cat 5. Cat 5, I believe, is beneath 932 millibar, is the millibar standard for it. But we've seen Category 5 hurricanes at like 938 before, so. But, yeah, that won't happen. You know why? The NAM is already considerably overdoing the intensity. The NAM has it at a millibar of 984. It is currently 992, which is a lot weaker than 984. So the NAM scenario won't happen. Now, something like the HRRR, I think the HRRR has a bit more realistic scenario here, I think. Yeah, see, the HRRR has it making landfall at probably about 990. So a lot more realistic than the NAM, but you never want to use these CAM models for hurricanes. We just use them to kind of get an eye. At least, they're another factor you can take into account. It's another model run that you can at least throw in the pile and just use for certainty. Also want to point out our tropical wave going towards the not that. Got to point out the tropical wave in the Atlantic going towards the Yucatan Peninsula. There's a chance that this does form into a tropical storm as it goes towards the Yucatan Peninsula and impacts portions of Mexico. So just downstream of Debby, we will be watching that system closely. We talked about that, I believe, either I believe it was the stream before yesterday we were talking about that. They've now highlighted that with a 1030. So they've upped the probabilities from a 1020 to a 1030. So there's a better chance that it forms in the next 7 days. Probably as it gets closer to the Yucatan Peninsula, if not into the southwest Gulf of Mexico. That's when I'm going to be watching it the most after it gets past the Yucatan Peninsula. So right here is where I'll be watching the most. It's probably going to be another Alberto. I forgot exactly what the first name storm was. It's going to be another one of those scenarios where it's going to be a last second ordeal if this thing can form in the Southwest Gulf or not. So till we get to the Southwest Gulf, we're just going to keep an eye on it. And I'll update you guys as frequently as I remember about it. Which I probably won't remember about that thing too much. So it's going to sneak up on us. I nearly guarantee it will sneak up on me. Alright, I think we lost all of our tornado warnings. We're not on the tornado warning scene, so that's good. We did just lose, I believe, our last tornado warning just a couple minutes ago. Yeah, we lost that at about 6 minutes ago. So no longer any tornado warnings in effect. I don't believe that's going to last too long. We have these waves because of these convecutive bands here. So for like 20 minutes, you'll have 3 tornado warnings or so, and then you'll take like a good 30-minute, if not hour break, and then you'll keep repeating that process throughout the entirety until the storm makes landfall. Because you have all these bands that make landfall, and then they move around the storm, then they all come back. What in the world? Wow. Let me go check that recon data. Yeah. Let me see. So they found, okay, they found probably right around 70-mile-an-hour winds. That's what recon has found. Now, if we go one barb stronger than that, if we get to kind of a lighter pink there, that's hurricane force. So we're close to hurricane force wind speeds on recon data. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. They are about to go into this storm. We actually have... What? Now, why do we have 2 recon in this thing? There's really not much point in having 2 recon in this storm. That's just not really something I think's a good idea. You could have saved that recon for, 11 o'clock or something. When the other recon has to return for fuel. Let's see here. Okay, the NHC has us moving dead north. Which, that's weird. Like I said, that's really weird with their... actually, let's go over the flooding risk before I dive onto that. Here's the day 4 flooding risk. This is Wednesday, I believe, which is the anticipated landfall for South Carolina. We also have a moderate risk level 3 out of 4 in place for Charleston, Myrtle Beach as well. So we'll keep a really close eye out on those areas. And then day 5, which is Thursday, you're still inside that moderate risk in Charleston and Myrtle Beach. So all the way from probably just west of Myrtle Beach all the way down towards Savannah, Georgia, that's going to be where we have our greatest opportunity of catastrophic flash flooding out of Hurricane... I forgot your name. Hurricane, I forgot your name. Let me go ahead and show you guys that track here. Get rid of the cone. Yeah, so it's Debby. They have it moving dead north, but the line is clearly moving northwest. I guess northwest is, dead north is this way. Dead north, northwest. So it's moving more northwest. But they have it moving dead north, so weird on why they'd have the forecast going northwest and not just dead north where the storm's actually going. Still wobbling a lot. That's gonna lead to uh, a lot of forecast predictability issues in terms of where it's exactly going to make landfall. Good luck to the chasers out there, because a wobbly hurricane is never fun to try to intercept. Hurricane's already hard enough to intercept as is, but now you got a wobbly one. Just makes predictability a bit more difficult. Nothing's ever straightforward in 2024 anymore. Yep, sure is wild, Indiana. Welcome to the stream. You've missed, I believe, a tornado outbreak now. Pretty sure this is going to be classified as a tornado outbreak day. We haven't tracked much of it. We saw one tornado. I saw the wedge tornado live. I've been glued to radar, so I haven't missed any. But live streaming, we've only seen one. So today's risk tornado-wise overperformed in my book. I really wasn't expecting a tornado outbreak today. I don't think many people were. Like I said, you never want to really use the HRRR for hurricane models, or rather for like hurricanes and tropical systems. Hurricane models are going to be better, but just to like note it, the HRRR has landfall at 1 p.m. The new HRRR has landfall at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. If we go and take a look at what normally are better model runs, like our HWRF has landfall being at 7 a.m. Eastern. HMON has landfall being at 8 a.m. Eastern. HAFSA has landfall being at about 7:30 Eastern. HAFSB has landfall being at 8 Eastern. So see how our hurricane models are really all agreeing on these 8 a.m. time frame, and then you just have HRRR throwing out a 1 p.m. a 1 p.m. landfall. So definitely a whole lot more likely that we'll see landfall towards the early morning hours tomorrow. NAM also shows it at 1 p.m., but CAM models, like I said, they can't handle tropical systems well at all. And the NAM is not good at anything, especially tropical models or tropical systems. The NAM's not a tropical model. It is horrific with tropical systems, period. If you're looking at the NAM for a tropical system, there's a really good chance you're just looking at it to laugh at it. Because if you want to see like a Cat 4, Cat 5 with any tropical system, just turn to the NAM 3K, and I bet you at some point it spits out a Cat 4 or 5. It's just what it does. Never take into account the NAM. I mean, like I said, you still want to, it's a good idea to look at the CAM models just to see what they show, but you never want to take them seriously. Always use ensembles for tropical systems. That's your best friend. Use ensemble models for tropical systems, because that's going to give you a bunch of different model scenarios on a single map, and then you can tell which one's the most likely. Speaking of ensembles, I haven't looked at the super ensembles today. Matter of fact, for like the last, can't even tell you how long, 24 hours or so. Ever since I looked at them with y'all, I think yesterday. Let me go over to, I'm on the wrong folder, y'all. I'm supposed to be on this one. Tropical cyclones, Debby in the Atlantic. Yeah, there's still so much uncertainty. They have shifted a little bit more east, though. Models have started to shift more east with more of a little more to the northeast of a Charleston, South Carolina landfall. If we could just keep seeing that northeast shift, The more northeast it shifts, the more likelihood I am to chase it. We're just 3 likes away from our like goal, so if you guys have just tuned in and haven't hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. It helps us spread this information to more people. And if you'd like to see more weather content and more weather briefings, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell set to all so you know when I go live or upload a video. Let me go ahead and check this really quick. I'm going to go over to this one. So we're going to stay live with you guys for a while just to talk about this tropical storm. I don't know what happened to Lucky at all. Hopefully he'll get in here. He said 30 minutes, an hour, and 10 minutes ago. That's lucky. That is lucky for you. I'm going to pull up the satellite imagery so we can watch that. It is starting to get dark out there. Oh, you know what I haven't looked at? I want to look at this this site. I'm going to loop my favorite site here. This is my favorite tropical site for satellite imagery. We're going to do this one. And this. My favorite water vapor imagery. Let me stop looping this. I'm about to crash my computer here. I've got like 5 different things looping. I just accumulate tabs so fast. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tabs. That's not too bad. Not too bad. We've had a whole lot worse. I'm going to go ahead and look at all of our satellite, or not satellite, but radar data, so that way I can... Yeah, we're going to close this stuff out. Yeah. That band's moving offshore too. So I'm going to keep one radar site on the Tampa radar site, and I think that's the only radar site I'm going to keep open for GR2. There we go. So again, if you guys can, make sure you share this stream. That's the biggest thing, is liking and sharing the stream, because we want to reach as many people possible. We're gonna... Wow, that is impressive. Look at the outflow bands here. Outflow bands. That's what you call them. I couldn't get that word yesterday in yesterday's stream. A lot of outflow bands. This is very impressive. That is really, really impressive. This is a big system. Look at that. This is my favorite water vapor imagery too. I'll put it in the chat so that way you guys can look at it too, for those who may want to know the site. I highly recommend it for satellite imagery. I believe, yes, that's going to send you directly to this loop. In my opinion, it's the best site for satellite imagery. You could also change it to the... it won't let you do this particular satellite, but you can also look at the mesosectors too. So I think this one... Ooh, that is definitely not it. Yeah, this one right here. So it won't let you look at the good water vapor. You have the eel water vapor. But this one updates every minute, I believe. Wait, what? What is it? Yeah, this is every minute. Yep, it updates every minute. Whereas the other one, I think, updates every 5 to 6 minutes. I feel like this is the best site out there for satellite imagery. The only annoying thing about it is the loops. It's a bit difficult to get the loops to work for you. We're starting to get the sunset out here in Florida, so I wonder if we can get a sunset cam. I think the sun's already set. I think the sun is already set. I guess we'll just stay on this one. Is Catman tuned in today? I haven't looked, honestly. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to chat. How are you guys doing today? Hopefully everyone's having a great day. I don't think I've seen Catman in here. I have a question. When will the tornado threat be worrying in Georgia? Um, I don't want to say worrying, but it's definitely a large concern tomorrow. Now, tonight, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. It's really going to be tomorrow in southeast Georgia from probably about 10 a.m. all the way until 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. Wow. Wow. The tornado threat on Tuesday for Charleston. I want to be there. Wow. Debby. I wish I could just like go. I wish it was as easy as it sounds. Just jump in a car and go. It shouldn't be that big of a tornado threat though. Just make sure you're hyperweather aware in southeast Georgia for most of the day tomorrow. Uh, but you should be fine. And it's gonna be southeast Georgia, so like right here. That's gonna be your main area for a tornado threat. I'm alive, Caleb. That's about all I can wish for nowadays. I didn't get a DM from you, Legacy. At least not on Discord. That's always one of my biggest fears is I recognize people by profile pictures and people keep changing their profile pictures on me. So whenever I message them, I'm like, oh my goodness, this isn't the right person. Then I figure out they changed their profile picture. So don't change your profile picture. Caleb got me very confused when he did that a while ago. Let's see. It might be worth just going to Wilmington. Even if landfall is so far to the west. What beach is above? Good question. Good question. Let's see. I don't know exactly where it is. That's where your camera is. So it's going to be... Don't know what beach this is, but it's by the old Cape Lighthouse site. So you can see that camera icon right there. I'll just keep zooming out. There's Florida. So it's far to the southeast of Panama City, west of... I know how to say it in my head, but it won't come out my mouth. South of Highland View. It's just outside of the primary threat for a storm surge. It's not the best camera, but it's, you know, it's better than nothing, so we're using it. It's better than having just, like, radar looping above my face cam. Our chaser is currently sleeping now. Our chaser went to sleep. Connor Croft is sleeping. Because they have to get up at, I believe they're going to get up at 5 to 6 a.m. Which this thing is, I mean, it's going. It does not look that bad. Especially right here, which I believe your center is located generally. Gracious day. I have no clue. I'm not even going to draw it because I have no idea. It's probably somewhere in between here, right along this line. You can see the spin. You can see this convection spinning up to the north. And then it wraps around northwest here. So your center is definitely somewhere in and around here. In and around here. Of course, you could just look at... Ooh, you know what? I didn't think about satellite imagery on Radar Omega. I didn't think about that. That also has a good water vapor. Yeah, and then you can actually see the center because you can overlay the National Hurricane Center's track. So yeah, your center is right about here currently. Right about there at that L. Just to the north and east of where they have it back here. And this also has a pretty good infrared satellite. It's not the best, but yeah, I like this one too. This is this is the satellite I used the most for Otis last year. Those who stayed for most of Otis's coverage last year for about 5 hours as we watched it go from tropical storm to Cat 5. Um, this is the satellite we used the most. Dry air is still an issue, yeah. You can still see some dry air infiltration on the southeast side of the system. I'll get a different color. I don't know the best color here. I guess we'll do light blue. There's not really a great color here, is there? Satellite has... I guess we'll do purple. Yeah, there's still some dry air on the southeast side of the system here. Also, let me make the... Ooh, big pin. Gracious day. I don't think I've ever used a big pin on Radar Omega. I always keep the smaller one. But yeah, that's where we have some wind shear over here. Wind shear is battering the system like this, and then you have dry air wrapping into the western quadrant of the storm. Just very minor wind shear, and I didn't look at dry air. I can go and quickly look at your observations for wind shear and dry air. It's going to take me a second because I'm not completely used to it just yet. Not this site. This one, we're going to go to Tropical Storm Debby. We're going to full screen it. We're going to go for, let's see, wind shear. Oh! Yeah, there's 30 knot wind shear. I bet that's gonna hurt the rapid intensification process. There's definitely a good amount of wind shear out in front of this. And yeah, there's not a lot of dry air at all. It's mainly wind shear that's hurting this system. The more north it moves, the worse the wind shear gets. 30 knots is quite a lot. I don't think it's going to be able to like completely destroy the system, but it should be enough to the point where we don't see like a ridiculous hurricane. I still think a high end Cat 1 to potentially even a low end Category 2 is on the table, but like a Category 3 that's not possible. Not with the time we have left. Now that I said that, just wait until we wake up. All right, let me go back to your other satellite imagery. In my opinion, your better one. This is radar. Ooh. I thought those storms might have been trying to do something. They are offshore, though, so that's good. Let's go back to our satellite. Go back to... What's RGB here? Yeah, not that bad. I still don't like the RGB, though. Let's go for infrared products here. Back to our normal satellite. So overall, the storm, in my opinion, it looks pretty healthy. I do think it's going to make a run for a upper tier Category 1 hurricane. I agree with the SPC on that. They just issued their slight risk for severe weather still in place. I don't think wind shear will be that much of an issue in terms of like I said, I don't think it's going to be like it's going to destroy the storm or whatnot. It just might inhibit some rapid intensification. I'll go see what the NHC said about that. National Hurricane Center. Let me go down to their discussion here. I'm going to go all the way down here. This was their 5 o'clock one. Let's see if they say anything about rapid intensification potential. Let's see. Yeah, low wind shear. There is very low vertical wind shear into Monday morning. There is some dry air that is currently infiltrating portions of the southwestern side of the system and circulation that may have temporarily interrupted the intensification process. Let's see. Significant strengthening is still expected before landfall, and rapid intensification will be especially likely if Debby can acquire a well-defined inner core. The official intensity forecast is at the high end of model guidance, which it is. So now, you know what that's going to make me skeptical of? The site I'm using for wind shear. Because if the National Hurricane Center isn't saying much about shear, then the only thing that could be wrong is the site. I can tell you this, it's definitely favorable all the way till just before landfall. That's where I'm going to question is right when this thing approaches the shoreline, like directly at shoreline. If I can stop this loop here. Like directly right here. Could it weaken just slightly before landfall, or will it make landfall, you know, as a 90 mile per hour Cat 1? Which they're forecasting 85 mile per hour winds sustained just before landfall. They don't provide a pinpoint forecast at landfall at this moment, just due to the timing of the storm. Wait for this new SPC outlook. It looks like the only thing they changed is they disextended the slight risk from the more southern side. That's really it. Let's see here. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I had to quickly text Lucky. All right, let me keep looping this. Those winds are getting pretty rough out there for an area that's not even being hit by this storm. So our camera is very far outside the precipitation of this storm. Actually, we're starting to get some rain close to it. Our camera's right here at my cursor. It's starting to make it to our camera, actually. Gracious day. I can only imagine what this feels like out towards, like, east of Tampa here, and these heavier bands of rain mixed with those tropical storm force winds. That might be some very small rotation. Nah. It might be some very small rotation there. It doesn't look like anything too crazy. And oh my goodness, my radar's glitched again. I think it's because I didn't, I need a warning. I need a warning here. I can't find any. These don't count. Would this one work? There you go. Yeah, see that little bit of red and some very light green. Just not anything worrying, but we'll keep an eye on this stuff, especially these two offshore too. It doesn't take a lot to produce a very weak tornado with these tropical systems. Let's see here. Oh, I completely forgot about recon. Recon found, oh, very debatable hurricane force wind speeds. That will be up to the National Hurricane Center. Also have to remember their SFMR wind speeds, which those aren't in direct correlation to the exact wind speeds that the National Hurricane Center will use, the level. So normally, from what I've seen, it's about 5 to 10 miles per hour less than what the SFMR wind speeds show. So currently those, they found, let's see, they found about 66 knots to MPH. That's going to be, yeah, so that's not hurricane force. 66 is hurricane force, but like I said, you want to subtract about 5 to 10, so that would be down to like 6 68 to 70 miles per hour. Let me go back over to, if they did a drop zone, that would be a lot better because we'd be able to see the pressure. Most recent drop zone was 20 minutes ago. You know what? That might be the newest drop zone. Let me see. I don't know if that's correct. That's like pressure down to 986. The 8 o'clock advisory has pressure at 992, so I don't feel like that's right. Oh, actually, my bad. No, no, that was right. About 987, 988, right around there. All right, let me close out all this stuff here. So it's slowly intensifying. It's definitely not rapid at this moment. Let me go back over to... It's really hard to tell if it's rapidly intensifying until you get like multiple recon datas or multiple updates. You're not just going to have, or I should say you shouldn't just have this big divot of where you go from like a millibar pressure of 992 to a millibar pressure of like 980 in the matter of 1 hour. So at the 11 o'clock advisory, I really don't, from these two recons, I don't see anything of like they'd upgrade to hurricane force here. Yeah, 988. Actually, no, that's drop zone at 988. I switched to the correct one here. That is actually 4 millibars lower. And then with the wind speed data, like I said, they found that at about 76 miles per hour. But again, you want to subtract about 5 to 10. That's still going to put it beneath hurricane force. But that millibar is down to 988. So we'll see what they do with the 11 o'clock advisory in about 2 hours. I'm not the best with recon, if you couldn't tell. I'm not the best at all with recon data. I try to read it the best I can, but I haven't studied anything with recon. I'm a lot more of a severe weather person than I am with tropical activity. All right, that's, again, a little bit of a flash one here. Every time I load this, it always does this glitching flash thing, loading all the frames up. All right, let me go back up here. Okay. I don't know what chat's on about right now. Your power's out? Let's see, Seminole, Florida. Oh my word, that copied your whole message instead of just where Seminole, Florida is. There we go. Yeah, you definitely, if you're on the coastline, you know, these outer islands here, it would probably be best to go a little bit more inland from storm surge, but you're in those tropical storm warnings. I'll go ahead and pull them up. Let me find it. I always lose my, there it is. So you're in tropical storm warnings and storm surge warnings. Just make sure you are preferably away from the beach as far inland as you can. Conditions should continue to deteriorate. I mean, all the way throughout the next hour here. And then as you go towards 10:30, conditions should slowly begin to improve as the storm moves more north. Tropical storm warnings have already been canceled out all the way south towards Naples, so they're going to continue to cancel these as time progresses here. It won't hit. It won't directly hit Tallahassee as a hurricane. It's going to hit to your southeast as probably a hurricane. If you can, just make sure you're in the most interior room of your home. If conditions are that bad in Seminole, Florida, it should be tropical storm force winds, which is sustained winds right around 40 miles per hour. So I mean, that's definitely some very windy conditions there, and you're right towards the beach, so probably even stronger than that. This is a stronger tropical storm too, so your sustained wind speeds could be upwards to 70. Right at the core, it's at 70, so you could have wind speeds up to sustained of 70 miles per hour with gusts. I don't know what they say now. I haven't looked at their gusts. Go over here. Wind gust up to that's your sustained of 70. They don't say the gust. Maybe they'll say it here. Geez, that wind field is larger. Gust up to 75. So sustained winds of 70 with gust of 75. Yeah, so that wind field is much larger, gracious day. That you're in the wind field of 57 to 73 mile per hour wind sustained. In Tallahassee, you're definitely going to feel quite a lot of impacts. It's going to be a bit more rough than what I told you before because this storm is strengthened quite a bit more than what was anticipated 24 hours ago. Um, you're going to see gusty winds upwards of probably 70 mile an hour wind gusts, sustained winds right around 60. You're in that tropical storm warning that is in place. Flooding, I can't tell you about flooding because it's going to be a sharp cutoff. Tally's very, very difficult because it's right in that cutoff area of where it will probably make landfall to your southeast. So I would definitely be ready for potentially up to hurricane force wind speeds out there, as well as if the track shifts, possibly upwards of 8 inches of rainfall as well. It's currently expected to make landfall just to your southeast, so that's definitely going to give you tropical storm force winds at the minimum. At least tropical storm force wind speeds. You're probably going to be pushing near hurricane force, especially on the shoreline to the south of Tally. It's, I mean, yeah, it's going to be very, very close to Tally. It's going to take a sharp, or not really sharp, but a gradual northeast turn, just like this. It's moving more dead north right now. The NHC has it moving northwest currently on their track, but the storm is definitely moving dead north at the moment. If you look at their advisory, it says movement is north, and then their track has it actually moving northwest. So it's moving more north like this, and then it's going to take a northeast turn just before it gets to Tallahassee and make landfall somewhere right in here. So yeah, it's going to be very close to Tallahassee. About 20, I don't know how long ago it was, probably about 2 days ago or so, we were talking about a Cedar Key landfall, and then Tallahassee would have seen not that much impacts, but now we've shifted a whole lot more to the northwest than Cedar Key for landfall. All right, let me see this area. This is going to be, yeah, so you're in tropical storm warnings. You're more inland, so you're not going to get it, the worst. Definitely want to make sure things are tightened down out there. If you can move it, make sure you can move it indoors or in a garage, because it could very easily become flying debris if you manage to get one of those wind gusts of like 75 out there. So make sure things are tightened down. You could be a couple days without power out there, so make sure you have food and water to last a few days. You're already in the tropical storm warning, so hopefully you did these preparations a while ago. It's too late to really do them today. Your conditions are going to continue to decrease. It's only going to get, unfortunately, worse from here until eventually this storm moves off to your northeast. Whoa, our camera just went night vision mode over there. Until it eventually moves off to your north-northeast right around Monday, midday to evening. All right, let's see. This is going to be Florida, of course. Why did it combine those? So you're under tropical storm warnings as well. You're more close to the coastline, so you could get it a little bit slightly worse than that person who was more inland. Again, could be a few days without power. You definitely want to stay indoors, make sure things are buckled down outside. Also, I know if you're in a flood prone area, know where higher ground is, where you can, move to higher ground safely. And also can't rule out a few tornadoes out there. The tornado potential, really, wherever this storm goes, it's going to have a risk to produce tornadoes over the next 24 hours. You can see the risk if I got rid of this. I hate how it closes these menus out. So here's your risk for tornadoes. You can see your dead center of that yellow area, which is a level 2 out of 5 for tornadoes. So tornadoes aren't the biggest concern, but we could see a tornado or two almost anywhere in Florida with the exception of the western panhandle as well as the far southern tip. Which the far southern tip already had a few tornadoes today, which is, it's moving more north now. Jacob, just stay indoors. If you didn't prepare, you're definitely going to have it more rough, but just make sure you stay indoors and make sure if you have power still, charge all your devices. That way you can receive watches and warnings. And just stay indoors. Don't try to go outside if, it's already too late to prepare because it's ongoing. Alrighty. Oh my, Perry, Florida, you're directly in the path. Gracious. Yeah, I hope you prepared, Bodie. I really hope you prepared because you're gonna be right in the square center of this path here. Yeah, it's your second one. Because you had a Dahlia last year. What was that, like August 30th or so, 2023? You had a Dahlia. It shouldn't be that bad. As bad as a Dahlia was. But the storm surge could be right up there with a Dahlia. A Dahlia produced, I think, almost 14-foot storm surge. This could produce near 10-foot storm surge. So you're going to have, at least some similar impacts. I don't remember the rainfall that a Dahlia produced, but this could produce in Florida up to 16 inches of rainfall out there in Perry. So you definitely want to be ready out there. Conditions are going to rapidly deteriorate, especially after midnight Eastern time. They're going to rapidly decrease. Right now, it's probably not all that bad in Perry. You probably have some gusty winds and some, I didn't look at rain, but yeah, probably some heavy rain now, actually. Gusty winds, heavy rain, but it shouldn't be the, too rough out there. I hope it ain't that bad because it's unfortunately going to get a lot worse. One tornado was on the ground, not warned way earlier, and it was reported. I didn't see that. The tornadoes I've seen today, I saw the Wedge water spout near Tampa, the one in southwest Florida, the one in north central Florida, and I think those were the three main ones I saw, but I'm pretty sure we had two more that I missed. So there's been a few tornadoes. I believe we've had right about 5 tornadoes. So again, just make sure you are prepared if you're in the path of this storm. There's no need to panic. It is a tropical storm, and it's going to be a little bit more of a rough tropical storm because we're going to see this strengthen into a hurricane overnight, and the flooding is going to be absolutely ridiculous. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen the flooding outlooks for tonight, it shouldn't be too rough for the flooding. We do have a level 3 out of 4, so we could still see the potential for some significant flash flooding out there southeast of Tallahassee, all the way through Gainesville, back out towards I believe that's all the way to Tampa, sure is. Tomorrow is going to be one of the biggest days for flooding because we have that 4 out of 4 risk into pink there. And then as we go into Monday, we also have a large 4 out of 4. This is about I don't think we've seen this ever since 2019. Hurricane Dorian, I believe, had a high risk for flash flooding in this area. So I believe this is the first one in just about 5 years. And we could see upwards, keyword upwards of 30 inches of rainfall on the coastal areas near Charlotte. I keep saying Charlotte. Charleston. Gracious day. I've said Charlotte countless amount of times for Charleston. Man. Tampa, you're feeling the worst now over the next about 50 minutes or so, and then conditions should slowly improve after about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Of course, in Eastern time. Spring Hill, Louisiana. It brought me to Louisiana. You're not going to get anything out there. Florida. There you go. Yeah, you should be fine. You're really far west. You are extremely far west. The people who will feel the least impacts are definitely if you're west of Panama City, this area. And then southern Florida, you're really already getting through all the impacts. So southern Florida should be finishing with this tropical storm. And then the western panhandle is, I don't think you're going to get much. So there's 2 Spring Hills. All right, let's go to that then. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the track here. Gracious day. You're getting a lot of rain right now, I can tell you that. Okay, there's Spring Hill. I see it now. So you're getting very, very heavy rain currently. A lot of rainfall. Damaging winds. I believe you're really peaking with that damaging wind threat right now for probably the next 3 hours all the way till midnight. Then after midnight, conditions will very slowly improve. Tornadoes are definitely going to be a possibility out there today, tonight, and even into the early morning portion of tomorrow. Conditions should improve quite quickly after, I believe, like 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Let's see. Ooh. Conditions are going to just gradually improve. It won't be rapid because you're pretty close to where landfall will be. I mean, landfall is going to be far to your northwest, but you're still right there. Let me look at your wind gust here. Yeah. Your conditions should get much better after 10 a.m. So you're peaking from now all the way till probably about midnight, and then after midnight all the way till 10 a.m. conditions will slowly improve. Then after 10 a.m. conditions should really improve quite rapidly. That is just based off a model run though, as well as the current forecast. I'm gonna close out all this. Let's get rid of all of these. You could send me videos on X. My link tree is the first link in the description. There's my Discord server, my Twitter there as well. There's other socials that I don't use that often. Discord and Twitter is where you can get to me the quickest. Alrighty. Well, if you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button to help spread this to more people, as well as share the stream with your family, friends, social media if you can. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We do this very, very frequently for as often as we can with these tropical systems. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my watches and warnings again. We do have a system behind this, but it's not too much of a concern. It's probably going to be a concern for the Yucatan Peninsula into the southwestern Gulf, probably towards Mexico. But at the moment, it doesn't look like any U.S. impacts from that other system. Could change, so we'll watch it closely. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be a big deal. It's at a 30% chance for formation over the next week. Alrighty, there's still a few little areas of rotation along this, this band here south of Tampa. Most of them are offshore, so hopefully they stay offshore as they're continuing to push up to the north-northeast there. We'll look at the eastern side of Florida. Yeah, all of these little areas of rotation are offshore. So currently no imminent tornado threat. If we do see any tornado threat develop over the next half hour to an hour, it's probably going to be from this band of moderate to heavy rainfall moving onshore to the south of Tampa. Now our cameras have gone night vision. I wonder how many have night vision out here. Go look at some other cameras really fast. Okay, the first one I click seems to not want to load. A few of them have night vision. That's already two right there. That's a lot of cameras, gracious day. Looks like most of them don't. Some do, though. Thankfully, this one, which is our most used one, has night vision, so that's good. Let's see. So you are out here in that's not a town name. Could you give me a zip code, Craig? That'd be really great. That's camera glitch. And that's a car. There's a lot of lightning activity well to the west of Tampa with this storm here. Probably not going to see much lightning move onshore there, but definitely a couple rumbles of thunder there. You're on the edge of the storm surge warning, so storm surge won't be a big issue. Won't be a big issue. But you could definitely see some storm surge upwards of probably, I think they're saying 3 feet here. 4-foot storm surge. So up to 4-foot storm surge will be possible. As long as you're not on the immediate coastline, you should be perfectly fine. I'll see what Clark's zip code brings me to as well. So you're more inland. That's already a great sign. You know, the more inland you are, the better. So you're really far inland. Definitely tropical storm force wind speeds for sure. Conditions will most likely be the worst from about 10 o'clock Eastern all the way through tomorrow morning and probably even tomorrow afternoon towards 1 p.m. So probably from 10 to 1 p.m. It's 10 p.m. tonight to 1 p.m. tomorrow. You're going to have tropical storm force wind speeds. Biggest threat, probably rainfall. Probably rainfall. So if you live in a flood-prone area, make sure you know how to get to higher ground safely. You could see upwards of 8 inches of rainfall out here. Up to 8 inches of rainfall. And then, of course, you have your damaging wind potential as well. Sustained winds could approach right around 70 mile per hour, sustained and gust of 75. But that's like the high end. 70 mile per hour winds sustained. I highly doubt you'll see that. A lot of the times with these tropical systems that stay offshore for Florida, Central Florida has more of a lacklustering for the damaging winds. At least according to the people that I know in Central Florida and two of my friends in Central Florida. Columbia, South Carolina. That's I think that's the third person from South Carolina I've seen here today, and that area is good enough in central South Carolina to the point where I don't think flooding will be nearly as big of an issue out there as it will be, far to the south and towards the coastline. I thought so. I accidentally hid that. Now alerts will pop up when people subscribe if they have their subscription set to public. But anyways, yeah, flooding is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on out there. You could see upwards of 5 inches of rainfall. So if you're in a flood prone area, just know where to seek higher ground safely, just in case that flooding does occur. But you are not in the primary flash flood threat. I could look at your risk level here really quick. So today it's a level 1. Tomorrow it's a level 1. This is going to be, you're in a level 3 on Tuesday, I believe this is. Yeah, this is Tuesday. You're in a level 3 out of 4 for flooding. And then you get out of it. So Tuesday's definitely the day to watch. If you're going to see flash flooding, it's going to be Tuesday. Tuesday's your biggest risk. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it to the 11 o'clock advisory. I don't want to stay up too late here. Uh, I'll just see if I cover landfall tomorrow. That's gonna be really a last second ordeal. Hopefully it won't be a hurricane, but it's probably nearing, if not a hurricane now. So, yeah. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. We're probably going to call it here in just a bit. I went over my 2-hour mark, but we'll probably call it just 10 minutes, or we'll say about 13 minutes from now. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe just in case we do go live tomorrow morning. I plan to be live tomorrow night. We will be live tomorrow night, not only to talk about that severe threat in Iowa, but also to, of course, give you an update on what Debby will be doing tomorrow night. We'll probably be live right around 7 o'clock, between 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time, talking about that. And like I said, as for landfall coverage, I'm not going to plan it. It's just going to depend on if I'm up when it makes landfall. That's what it's going to depend on. I'm not going to go out of my way to wake up for it. Really, the most significant impacts are going to be rainfall, which that stuff's very long duration. That's not really something you can cover completely. Now that it's forecasted to be a hurricane, and it's probably going to be borderline category 2, so we'll probably get to sustained winds of 90 miles per hour with gusts near 100 by the time this starts to make landfall south of Perry, somewhere along this area of the coastline. So we'll just keep a very close eye on it. I'll watch this. I will be up for the 11 o'clock advisory, and I would not be shocked if they end up upgrading it to a hurricane at the 5 o'clock, or not 5 o'clock, 11 o'clock advisory. We will probably see it upgraded to a hurricane at the 11 o'clock advisory. Again, thank you for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Haley, I don't think you'll get in on any severe weather action. So here's another look at satellite imagery. I'll go and refresh this for the latest satellite imagery. This is your water vapor here. And it does not look that bad at all. It does not look that bad whatsoever. It's really starting to get a solid look to it. So, I mean, we do have a bit of wind shear in place over here, but like I said, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. Hopefully, it will keep it at bay from reaching Category 2 status. But wind shear won't affect this thing too much from what I've seen here. Dry air looks to be the biggest issue, and I think that dry air is beginning to not be an issue now. I wish we had a more high definition. Maybe the RGB visible will be able to show us. Yeah. It still looks like we might have some dry air here. Maybe a bit of dry air in the southeastern quadrant of the storm. As long as that doesn't get to the core, it won't completely hurt intensification. We'll still see the intensification to a hurricane as long as that dry air doesn't get to the core where near the eye is. Tomorrow's risk depends on where. And it also depends what risk you're talking about. There's not an eye currently on satellite, but on reflectivity, it's not a condensed eye at the moment. You have a very large eye wall right here. So this isn't like your full eye here. Your eye's not that big. It's not a completely organized eye. Whereas if we just look about an hour ago, you can see how it was getting a condensed eye wall right there. It was getting really, really tight, and then it broke right apart again. So it's, I guess you could consider this the eye. I guess, because your low pressure is right about over here. But it's not a well-defined eye by any means. Let me go over here. Which one, Kevin? South of Tampa's radar. I mean, I was looking at this over here. Or were you talking about this one? I think you're talking about this hook here. I mean, that's just going to be absorbed by this storm to its south, so it probably won't do much. National Hurricane Center has it just 4 miles per hour shy of a Cat 1, so it is a very high-end tropical storm, and I think they will pull the Category 1 status at the 11 o'clock advisory here in about an hour and a half. Which, I already missed the ending time. We'll just extend it by 5 more minutes. We're good, we're good. We are good. That's where all your flooding is, too, so your main flooding here is south of Tampa. Tampa was removed from that flash flood warning, so that's good. Our most significant flooding currently is going to be in the Bradenton area. Or Bradenton, rather. That's in Florida. That's what's going to come down to if we see 30 inches of rainfall in South Carolina or not, is if we get a band that sets up like this band is currently in Tampa. No kidding how much rain this has produced. Let's see how much rain radar thinks it's produced here. Yeah, radar says that this has produced possibly upwards of 9 inches of rainfall. The National Weather Service here, they are saying upwards of, let's see here. Flooding's already occurring. I don't see any rainfall estimates there. Maybe we'll do this one. Between 4 to 8 inches of rainfall has fallen, and an additional 2 to 4 will be possible. So they're saying upwards of 8. Radar says upwards of 9. So right around, anywhere between 4 to 8 inches of rainfall there. Yeah, we've already been live for 2 hours. I really just wanted to do a little bit of a mixture between a briefing as well as a bit of coverage just to update you guys on this. I believe we're ending at almost the exact same time as what we did with yesterday's stream. Yeah, we'll end a little bit before what we did in yesterday's stream. So I appreciate you guys helping me reach almost 2,000 people with a word of this tropical storm today. Really, really helped out a lot. And I hope everybody is staying safe out there in Florida. Definitely quite the tropical storm. Don't let it, the status of a tropical storm, don't let your guard down. This isn't just a tropical storm. Tropical storms can produce catastrophic impacts, which this one will produce catastrophic flash flooding. Just a matter of exactly where. It could be anywhere from south of Tallahassee all the way up towards Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But we should see at least an instance or two, and here comes a tornado warning of catastrophic flooding somewhere in here. And I'll go ahead and unmute that so you guys can hear that tornado warning. You jinxed it, Kevin. You jinxed it. It's out here for Sarasota. I think that was one of the ones we were talking about. Sure is.
Tornado warning for Central Manatee County in West Central Florida, Northwestern Sarasota County in West Central Florida, Manatee, and Sarasota County in Florida.
All right, we're not going to stay live for that. Just make sure you're seeking shelter if you're in this red polygon. That means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. So just make sure you're seeking shelter. It doesn't look to be that strong. So that is good news. We're going to go ahead and call this stream quits. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and helping me reach, like I said, almost 2,000 people today. That's all of you guys helped me reach that many people. Can't do it without you. You guys liking the stream, sharing it, and just simply being here. Every last thing helps out tremendously to get this stream out to more people. So that's 2,000 more people who are aware of this tropical storm, and that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Never thought we'd be able to reach that many people with just a 2-hour live stream. So I really, really appreciate it a lot. And hopefully I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. I'm going to plan to live stream tomorrow. The only way that is going to change is if I end up thinking of chasing this tropical storm. But even then, I should still be able to stream. I don't really see a way how I won't be able to stream tomorrow unless it's something out of my hands here. So thank you, mods, for mod in chat. Thank you for the donation, $5 donation once again, Deacon. Much, much appreciated. And I will see you guys, I hope, in tomorrow's live stream. Again, we'll plan for sometime between 6 and 8 o'clock is what I'm going to say. Between 6 and 8. Could be as early as 5:50, and could be as late as 8 o'clock. But I'll try to aim for like 7:20. That's when we went live today. That seems to be a pretty good time because we get an update at 8 o'clock. So we'll aim for 7:20. Hopefully I can be live at that time tomorrow, Eastern time. So stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. Make sure you're staying hyper weather aware tonight, especially if you're in that tornado watch area and in the impacted zone. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Have a fantastic rest of your night. Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics, and I'll see you guys in my next live stream. Have a fantastic rest of your night. Good.